Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome if you guys are new here. I'm finally putting a video out for you guys. And on this channel, what I hope to give to you guys is insight on things that maybe you couldn't find out there when if you're starting your sublimation journey, your DTF journey, any of those types of things. If you just want to watch for fun, if you want to learn something new. And I'm no pro. I am not a pro by any means. I started this journey back in March, self-taught, and have had a couple YouTuber friends that have taught me some things that I didn't know otherwise. So that is my hope for you guys. I have another channel, Smalltownssix. It's got budget grocery hauls, cooking, all that kind of content if you want to check it out. This is all for the crafter, the small business owner, somebody that just needs a friend to walk with them on this journey, because let me tell you, there is so much information out there. It's hard to find the right information because some people glamorize things so much that you get into things that I'll touch on that another day, like my DTF journey. Things look really beautiful and then it's really not like that. So I try to share with you guys my real experiences with things and help you all, because that's my biggest thing. I use YouTube as a platform to help others. So what I'm doing today is I will either input the other video that I made, like when I initially started this, when I converted my 4800 eco tank. But this one I got on sale, which not a huge sale. These were $100 cheaper 6 months ago or 8 months ago. I got the eco tank 15,000. The only reason I will say to upgrade to this or to start with this one is on your print, because the regular ones, any other eco tank that you get, and I do recommend eco tank only because the ink, because it will use less ink. It's less of a conversion process than some of the other printers that are out there. So most people recommend the eco tank, but make sure when you get your eco tank that it is, if you're buying a used one, make sure no ink has ever been put in this. You can buy those flesh kits, I think. I don't recommend it. I honestly don't, because you're going to get nothing but problems when you're trying to print if it's had regular ink in it. So when you get into this box, any type of printer you have, any eco tank, take the ink out, discard it. Or if you have like an extra eco tank, you can use it as backup ink. Don't ever use the regular ink for eco tank printing or for sublimation printing, because it will damage your printer. So what I'm doing is I got this on sale like the holidays, like I said, for $50 off. I'm going to convert it, and the only reason that I went up from it is the normal eco tank printers will only print like 8.5 by 11, or it will go up to 14, like 8.5 by 14. So I wanted a wider print, because when you're printing on like bigger sweatshirts or bigger t-shirts, some people don't like the way that the 8.5 by 11 looks. You want something a little bigger. That's the only reason I upgraded to this, because the other printers are much more cost efficient and they will get the job done, and they work just exactly the same as this. This one just prints wider, and I've heard nothing but great things. So let's go ahead, get started, and convert this. Okay, you guys, here's this ink. Like I said, it's a ton of ink, so you hate to waste it, but you cannot use this in your printer. So either toss it, give it to someone that has one of these that actually uses it for printing, or you can get one on a really good sale and you need one for your home office or something. I do recommend it, because my cartridges are $30 a cartridge. This stuff lasts forever and much cheaper in the long run. But we have got this out. Let me see. This is totally much better looking than my other one. It has these slide outs. Oh, we got more tape. So get the rest of this tape off of here and we will start converting. Okay guys, first things first, let's zoom in on this. Is that blurry? Okay, so this is the setup of your printer. You won't even need this. It's just extra and it's fancy and it's awesome, but you don't need it. So you're gonna prop this up. Your ink tray is in here. Right in here. Here's your black, here's your cyan, here's your magenta, and here's your yellow. One by one, depending on what type of ink you have, you're going to start installing the ink. But make sure your printer is not turned on. Anytime you fill ink up, which it will last a very long time. Even when you're printing a lot, it will still last you a great amount of time in comparison to other printers. So make sure it is always turned off because it will mess up. Trust me, I've done it before. I filled it, forgot it was on, and I had nothing but issues. I had to reach out to all kinds of people. I finally got the problem fixed, resetting it, redoing all this kind of stuff. You don't want to do it. Make sure you don't even have to plug it in yet. I haven't even plugged the cord in yet. So make sure it's not connected when you go to do that. Okay, you guys, gonna fill it with ink. This is my favorite ink, not sponsored. I wish, that would be fantastic. Hippo. This is on Amazon. This is my favorite type of ink. It's very reasonable. You can get the ink cheaper if you buy it with the syringes. I prefer not to mess with the syringes and having to deal with all that. So, they do run specials. I actually got this on sale during the holiday season. So, I get this. I'll link it in my Amazon store, like I said below. It comes with the 4 colors, which your sublimation printer needs. Obviously, you should know it doesn't print white. It'll never print white. It'll show up in the absence of white. So, if you bleach a garment, then the white will be present. It does not print white. So, we're just going to start with the first color, which is black. And you want to keep it. Keep as much, like if there's any ink left, keep it. You can use it to refill. So let's go ahead and start this. We're just gonna go, you measure, it shows you right there on there which colors you have. Let me lean in so you guys can see that. It's color coded and it says the number. So we're just gonna put that in there and you can hear it and you guys can see it. See, you can see it. It has a, sorry, that's so blurry. It has this tank right here, and you can see as the color fills up. My other one doesn't show as clearly as that. So this one actually has a much larger tank for the black than my other printer. And then you've got your cyan here, your magenta, and your yellow. And you're just gonna let it fill. Now, if you get the syringe, it's probably $10 cheaper for that ink, and you'll fill it with the syringe, and you have gloves and everything. With this, I just find this to be way more practical for me. I'll pay a little bit of an extra cost. I think this past time it was only a $5 difference. And I'll let it just fill up on its own and not have to deal with the mess. Like I said, all up to you. But I do highly recommend the Hippo ink. Okay, that one is done. So there's a little bit left in there. I just got it on my hand. So I'm going to put the lid back on that. Then we're just going to close this lid. We're going to get the cyan out and we're going to start filling it. Got the cyan in there. Now we are filling the cyan. And like I said, you're going to fill it until it goes all the way up. Make sure you do the colors in order and pay attention to it because I've got mom brain and I know I can mess that up easily. So we're just going to fill that till it's all the way full. Now we're going to close that lid. I had some left, so I will store that. Top it off another day. And then we're going to put magenta in there. And there we go. And now we are filling the yellow up. So we're just gonna let that fill to the top and then we'll move on to the very next step, guys. Okay guys, now we have got the ink all in. Make sure you shut the lids on that. And now we're gonna shut that back and we're gonna plug it in and we're gonna follow through all the prompts on this memory screen. We'll go ahead and pop that up. Let me go ahead and plug this in and we will get this going. This will take a little, I think it should take, it takes about 10 minutes to get the ink set up. Hang on. Okay, we're just going to power it on and we're going to follow along with what we're supposed to do here. So this will be setting our language, whatever your language is. Mine is English. So we're going to go ahead, select that one. I'm in the US. It is winter. And then we'll put in our date and all that kind of stuff. So let me enter that. So, oh, it's set on, whoop, let me go back. It's got a set on 2001. Wouldn't that be crazy to go back to? I'm going to configure the date. Now, format 24 hours. To right now, we put your time in because it just likes to keep track of that. But a lot of times, it doesn't really matter about all this. Okay, now hit that. So it's processing, it's storing all that information in there. gonna let it follow through, you guys. It's thinking. So this does take a few minutes to set up. This is kind of like, I think, registering the ink, doing all that kind of stuff, because this ink is different. Like I know in my other printer, it will ask me if the ink is okay because you're overriding that. Also, key point here is once you fill your printer with Sublimation ink, your warranty is void. Epson will not help you because that is not their ink. You are using a different type of ink. Okay, so now it says see to start here, bundled with printer. So we're going to press the question mark. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds. And then it says when filling the ink, make sure not to squeeze the ink bottle. Ink may splash. So we're going to hit proceed because it's going to initialize the ink in here. It says confirm the tank is filled with ink. We're going to hit done. It's going to initialize this. This takes 10 minutes to do. So just let it do. It'll fill up and it'll show you once it has initialized this ink. And then we'll come back after it does this. I'm not going to hold this for 10 minutes on here. So we'll just let this run through. Okay, so now that is done. This is like 10 minutes later. We're going to take some regular paper. This is not what you will print on. Obviously, you'll use sublimation paper. But this is to align your printer. So let's go ahead and we're going to put this in the paper tray. Did I do that right? There we go. I need to adjust this. There we go. Whoop. So it's got the adjusters. So we're going to put the paper in there because you'll need several sheets because we're going to do these test printing. So put that in there, close it, and then hit adjustment. Align the printer, adjust, and then we're going to hit print. This is going to print this. I think it does it 5 or 6 times because you're going to have to check off what comes out. It's going to ask you questions on the screen and you're going to have to verify it. And yeah, I've got ink all over me. So let's go ahead and we're going to let this print out. We'll see what this looks like. Okay, so it says check the printed pattern and select the closer result. So you don't want the one that has the broken lines. You want to find the one that has like the less broken lines. So this is the way mine came out. So I'm going to select. So my printer actually, look if you can see these. I didn't have this happen on my last printer, but I had it happen on this one. So this is a good, like, and once you select the one that doesn't have the most broken lines, both sides seem to have broken lines. So just like with other printers, I needed to do a print head cleaning to try to clear this up. This happens with DTF. This happens with all kinds of things. So it takes about 3 minutes because I hit the X button to tell it that no, neither one of those matched. So that is what usually people will do these videos and they come out perfect and they don't show this step. So I'm showing this step if that were to happen. Otherwise, if it matched one of the other ones, you would just hit the circle button and continue on to the next printing step. Okay, you guys, it is done. So if now it's got the lines black, which one? It wants to know which one has the closest result to this. So check the printed pattern, select the closer result. So this one still has a few broken lines, but not nearly as bad. But you know what? I don't think it should be having broken lines. So we're going to do this again. It wants to run it again. We're going to try this. Yes, it does use up quite a bit of ink when you do this, but we got to get it set the right way. So it's going to cycle through, do this. Yes, it drains a lot of your ink. Luckily, we can top it back off, but you want to make sure your ink is set up the right way, or otherwise you're going to have some issues, you know. So we're doing that. Okay, so this one is the closest. There's like one missing line. I'm going to proceed. And now it's going to want to adjust this and print 4 more alignment pages. So here we go. And it's going to ask questions once it does this. And this is way better than it was. It could probably get a little bit better, but we're going to proceed anyway because on my last printer it had just a little bit of a line missing and it's fine. But let's continue this and see what comes out. Okay, so it printed, I know you guys can't see that very well because it's so bright in here. Now it printed all these little like lines with ones on each one. So it says select the pattern that shows no gap or dark line. So you're going to choose which one out of all 6 of these that shows no gap or dark line, because some of these have like a zigzag to them. So I gotta look really close at this. No gap or dark line, so it's just straight. It's not messed up at all. Nothing is missing. I've actually got a couple that like show pretty well with that. So, oh, well, I guess it's wanting like 1 or 2. So 1. Does 1 show it? So it would be number 1. So then we're going to proceed to 2. It wants to ask which one on line 2 shows no gap or dark line. So no zigzag. I think number 3. So now it wants to print another page. We're going to do that. So make sure you're following these just as you're supposed to. My eyes are kind of bad because a lot of these look exactly the same. I feel like we're playing that little game of like which one looks the best, you know, like when you're a kid. So now it's going to print the next one. Okay, so it printed all these little squares out. So it's going to ask you the same thing on page or on line number 1. It wants to know which one of these has the fewest streaks in it. So I'm going to go through, choose the one that looks the best. Some of these might look just alike, but I'm going to go ahead and choose, gosh, these look so close. So we're going to choose number 7. Then we're going to proceed to the second line. You're going to choose that one. It's also going to be probably number 6 on this one. Proceed to the third line. It's going to be number 7. It's almost like a vision test. Then we're going to proceed to number 4. That's number 7 for me. Proceed to line 5, also number 7. And then the 6th line would be, I guess 7. Then we're going to proceed. It's going to print another sheet for another test. Okay, so it did one of these gap lines again. It wants you to select the pattern that shows no gap or dark line on this one. And that is really hard to tell because they all look pretty similar, but some of them have just a slight line. So we're going to choose 7. We're going to proceed to the second line, and which one? That would be 7 also. Proceed. Now it's going to print one more page, I believe. Okay, so now it printed this sheet and it wants us for each one to go through, and for line number 1 through 7, it wants you to choose the rectangles that are not separated or overlapped. So the smoothest running together, that they're not overlapping. Or well, actually, I guess it wants you to choose out of all of these which one doesn't overlap and which one is not separated. I'm sorry. So which one looks the closest to what the image is? None of mine are actually separated, and some of them have little lines through them. None of them are really overlapping. So let's see. I think 7. And now you can adjust. There we go. There we go. And then now we're going to go in and we are going to, we don't need to set up your fax. So that's done with this part. Now we got to set up the software, and then we're going to set our printer settings. Okay, you guys, unless you have the CD that you can install the software with, you're going to go to www.epson.com/support/ET15000. Sorry if that looks a little weird. I'm trying to get the camera to turn the right way. So now what we are going to do with this, we have to do the installation process. So we're going to go, and whether you have Android or iOS or whatever it is that you have for this, what's recommended, Windows. So mine's just a regular Dell computer. I'm going to go through and I'm going to hit download because that's what's recommended. And we're going to start downloading this. And once it's installed, we'll hit open. So it says open file. So now it's probably going to ask my permission because this is not going to be compatible like with what's already on my computer. Let's see. So it's loading. Takes mine. So see, mine says I'm trying to install something not verified by Microsoft, but I'm going to hit install anyway because it won't allow me otherwise. I had to do this with my other printer. So hit install anyway. Then you'll hit yes to proceed. Click OK to continue, and then it's trying to install it. Depends on how fast your computer is, how slow, how long this process takes. Then you're going to hit accept to all of these. Now it's going to try to prepare to install it. Now this whole installation process can take about 10 minutes because it's got to run through and do all of its stuff. Some research participation software. No, I don't need the extra software like that it wants to bog my computer down. So now it's going to check for software updates. You're just going to follow the prompts on your screen when you're installing the software. So see the progress. It might go really fast or it might take forever. It's downloading the printer driver. Actually, it's going really fast, shockingly, because I am in an area I'm in my basement where my workroom is, and it doesn't move. Like, things just kind of like the Wi-Fi signal doesn't hit down here very well, which we will set up Wi-Fi also with this. So it's actually doing this very, very fast. So now it's downloading that, and now it's updating this. It might be because I've already got Epson installed in my computer that it's moving so quickly, because other people said it takes 10 minutes. So we're just following this on the screen. It's downloading Epson Scan Smart now. It's downloading a lot to the computer. But let's see, it's almost done with that now. And now it is installing Epson drivers and utilities. Maybe this one takes longer. I don't know. This is moving a little bit slower than the rest of it. So we'll come back in just a second, guys, so you don't have to sit and watch this. Okay, guys, now we're going to hit print test page because that is done. So coming back over here to the printer. I'm going to see how this comes out. And then we'll go back in and we'll change our settings. So there we go. It says, congratulations, you successfully installed your printer, and it's got the color chart. So there we go. That is set up. Let's move on to settings. Okay, so I hit the wrong button. We're going to hit ET15000. So network or default. So we're going to go to the default one. So then we're going to go to printer properties. We're going to go to, like, that's the general stuff. So is it under preferences? There we go. Preferences. So under preferences, we're going to hit the paper source. So under that, let's see. Paper type. Let's see. We're going to leave it at letter. Paper source, we're going to go to, you can hit auto, you can hit tray or cassette. We're going to leave it at that. For this, you can hit portrait or landscape. You can change that every time if you want to. Paper type, we are going to go to premium presentation paper matte. So you want to leave it at that. Quality, we're going to go to high because this is printing on sublimation paper. Leave it at color. Then we are going to go down to, yeah, we did print preview. You want to click that button that we can see like what's going to print whenever it's, before it prints. Then this is going to be super duper important. This next part, it is under more options. You want to click mirror image. You want to make sure you click that every single time, because that way when you print sublimation, it has to be mirrored. So make sure you click mirror on there and then hit OK. And then hit OK, and now your preferences are set. So now we can go into Canva or whatever else you want to print. Like, I don't know what your printing setup is. Mine is Canva. That's what I'm going, oh, what did I click? So I'm going to go to Canva because I need to print something anyway. We're going to go to that, and let's see. We're going to go to create a design, custom size. You guys can do this however you want to. So I'm going to test print something that I already had set up to print for Valentine's Day. So let's go ahead, print this one. and then share it, download it, transparent, download, and let's go ahead and get our sublimation paper. Okay guys, so here is the letter tray. If you're going to use letter size paper, it's going to go in here, obviously. But if you need the larger paper, the 11 by 17, or you want the 13 by 19, you're going to put it back here because it can't feed through the tray. It's not set up to do that. So I'm going to just test print just to make sure my colors are all intact on the letter side. We're just going to put the paper in there. Like I said, if you were using a bigger paper, then you would do it the other way. I've already downloaded this, sending it to print. Make sure you have a transparent background. It's already set to what it's supposed to be at. So let me make sure that's the right one. Make sure that you set your printer, because you have different options for the 15,000 in here. Make sure it is set to the right one. Then you're going to hit print. It's going to ask me to print it again. It's going to give me the print preview, and it should print. Hopefully I set that up right. And there we go. So it's saying it doesn't match the settings, but it actually does. Current paper. Print with specified print settings. And there we go. Okay, it wanted me to put the premium paper in the back, maybe because it's printing wider. Instead of 8.5 by 11, it's printing 11 by 8.5. So it wanted me to put the paper in the back to proceed with this. So that's what we're doing. And you're going to want to print it glossy side or like the printable side up when you do this. So let's see how this looks once it's all done. Okay, you guys, it's coming out. And honestly, I print all the time with sublimation, and it's always muted. It's always going to look muted when it prints, because once you press it, the colors are going to come alive. But I'm going to tell you, this ET15000, I can already see the distinctness of the black on this. So much better than my 4800. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. I know it's like the same type of printer, but I've heard so many great things about this printer, so I'm so excited. And look how pretty. And there it is. Woohoo! All done, guys. All set up. Colors came out. Awesome. So that is how you set that up. I hope this was helpful to you guys. Sorry if it was very long-winded. I just try to like we ran into a couple issues, so I had to share that with you guys. It's real life. I try to be as real as possible, and through experiences share them with you, because I didn't run into that with the last printer. But hope you give the video a big thumbs up, you guys. I'm going to try to put these videos out every single Friday, or at least try to get a schedule with that, because I have so much to share with you guys. Let me know down below if there's something you would like to see a tutorial on, or information you would like to have, because like I said, I plan to share lots and lots of experiences and lots of information that I think is very beneficial to you guys. But I appreciate you guys watching. Hope this helps you all on your sublimation journey, and I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.